Welcome back to another Beaver video. Last time we went through the startup, so I thought this time I'd take you through an engine run-up, takeoff and landing. First things first, like usual, we've got to pull the prop through. First flight of the day, and this is back from when the Beaver was on its Whipline 6100 amphibs, which makes it significantly taller than it is now. Anyway, enough of that, and into the start. I'll be quiet so you can appreciate the lovely sounds of the 985 starting up. Then while I'm sitting there waiting for the oil temperature to come up, I run through the same flow that I do for every aircraft, which is temp fish, trims, mixture magnetos, master, propeller, pipe brake, fuel flaps, instrument switches, controls, hatches, harnesses, and for the float planes, water rudders retracted. I do another one on the taxi then, so that then I haven't missed anything and I'm ready to do a run-up as soon as we get to the hold point. So pushing the power up to 1600 RPM for the prop cycle. Actually quite a quick one, so you've got to catch it quite quickly. I do it 3 times. First one to make sure the prop will move. The second one to see that I've got a rise and then a drop in manifold pressure. And then the third one, I check the oil pressure drops and then rises again. And after that we push it up to 1750 for a mag check. One mag. The mag. Quickly let's check the meters showing positive. And pull the power back to idle. And then just before I take off, even though I've run 2 temp fish checks, I still do a fuel, flaps, trims and water rudders check just to make sure that we are on the correct tank. Haven't forgot to set the flaps or the trims because a Beaver especially won't fly without any flap, and in other aircraft you often won't be able to overpower the trims if you haven't got them set correctly. Quick look out, talk some rubbish on the radio, rubbish talked, and we're ready to line up. You'll see that whenever this video was filmed, my sunglasses were during their celebrated blue period, before I went through my gold sunglasses phase. It takes a lot of power to get the Beaver rolling, even more so when it was on the floats, so we had 6 wheels on the ground, so it takes a bit of getting moving. And you'll see there that I do a full free and correct controls check, just force of habit on every lineup, even though I've already run 2 temp fish checks. Lining up the runway, just like I do with a tail wheel aeroplane, I like to get the tail wheel straight with the runway. With the float planes I like to make sure that the nose wheels are lined up with the runway as well, so that when we put the power down, that's generally the direction the aeroplane's going to go. Off we go, checking that the oil pressure has come up in staying in the green, airspeed's alive, RPM's governing, and the manifold pressure we're looking for is about 34 or 35 inches. Max manifold pressure is 36.5 inches in the Beaver, but I very rarely use it unless I've got a really heavy load or it's a hot day. Airborne, you can see it doesn't accelerate very quickly, so we'll level off and let it accelerate towards 80 knots, tap the brakes and gear, retract. Gear takes about 30 seconds to cycle, so at this point if we lost the engine, we will put the gear down again, we'll just lower the nose, slide along on the floats. Once we're establishing the climb, we'll set climb power, which is 30 inches and 2000 RPM. Max continuous power is 33 inches and 2200 RPM, but the manual says that if we don't need it, now to limit the power to 30 inches, 2000 RPM, just to get a bit more life out of the engine. 500 above, and we'll start our turn onto crosswind. You'll see there that my hand went down to retract the flap to climb, which is not 0. It's still got about 5 degrees of flap out to the Beaver, otherwise it just won't climb. Shortly we'll level off, set our cruise power, about 1850 RPM, and 28.5 inches of manifold pressure. Turning final as I'm doing my puff check, pitch, undercarriage flap, and the water rudders are retracted. It's really important to do the puff check on any aeroplane, but especially an amphib, because you really don't want to land on land with the wheels up, or even worse, on water with the wheels down. So you'll see me do it 3 times in my head as I go down final. I think about 70 knots coming over the numbers on the Beaver, raising the nose, levelling off, holding off from the runway, letting it settle on. Not my best, but certainly not my worst. It's actually a really easy aeroplane to fly. It flies just like a giant Cessna 150, just with a lot more inertia. Rolling out, you'll see me there, retracting the flaps, putting the handle back down, ready to extend them next time I need them, and somewhere here shortly I should pull the mixture back out. There we go, excellent. Stop the plug fouling up, and that's it. Thanks for watching.